Hello from Little Creek Bee Ranch. I want to share a tip with you. This is a nuke box. This is a starter box. This is a baby box. This is where everything begins. 5 frames. 5 frames go in that box for a small colony. And when we run into April, May time, these boxes are full and they're busy. But there's one problem, and that's Oklahoma weather. And when we see April and May, with temperatures going up in the 70s and flying back down to the 30s, it's hard. It's just frustrating and hard. So, one of the most important tips I could ever give someone, starting out with bees, is making or buying or getting these little dudes right here. And we made up a dozen of these spacers. These are called spacers. And they go right on top like that. They're not attached, they just sit up there. Now, that one may rock a little bit, but we put the lid on it and put the lid on it and then put a big old stone brick on top. And the purpose is that it gets us, these are 2-inch spacers. They're really kind of fatter than they need to be, but that's okay. That it gives us space to lay in a sugar block on top. And this is a huge deal. If you'll recall the winter of 2010 out here in northeast Oklahoma, we had 2 blizzards back to back. Temperatures got down to -20. It was pretty stunning. I just knew we lost bees. I mean, like a whole bunch. I thought, Lord, we lost a ton of bees. But not true. That wasn't the case. The case was one colony was big and they died out. They had honey an inch from them. Honey was only an inch from them and the colony wouldn't move up. But I had 4 or 5 colonies that were probably, the size of a baseball, small softball, and they were right up under a block of sugar, and they were still alive. All of them survived -20 temperatures, and I've never forgotten that. So we've made these spacers. We'll make some big spacers for 10-frame equipment. And they're 2 inches. They're just 2 inches. And they're just cut 3/8 and then 3/4. And it's not hard. But the point is, your knowledge of being able to put a sugar block on a small group of bees can really save a colony. This spring, I thought we were safe by mid-April, and I pulled all the sugar blocks off. And then we got in the first week of May and hit 33 degrees and ran in a panic tizzy to get sugar blocks back out there on the colonies and put them on there. But if you don't have a spacer, then you're going to have to pull a frame out to slip down a block of sugar. Some of them we were just hurriedly just throwing out the side frames and throwing in blocks of sugar. We didn't have enough spacers. So that's a spacer for a nuke. You can also take a plastic queen excluder, cut it in half, lay it across here and staple it down with an air stapler, hand stapler, T50 stapler, whatever. And then of course the bottoms, the screen, the plastic excluder goes here, and it allows the workers to come up to get to the sugar block, and you can still put a feeding jar up here with another box on top. But I found the spacers that you can either make or buy are a huge key here. You need to know when you got to throw on a block of sugar, because with temperatures swinging up and down 30, 40, sometimes 50 degrees, it just drives bees and beekeepers bonkers. So, that's a huge deal, because I know beekeepers in this spring lost a whole lot of nukes. Just because it's just so hard. You get out there to a whole bunch of nukes and start slapping in sugar blocks. It's just a real challenge. So these spacers, I would like to use those, and I may even leave them on a couple of months just to make sure the colony is stabilized. But there's a whole stack of 12 of them, and we'll make up some spacers and some candy trays for 10-frame equipment too. So, be warned, because when springtime gets here, the temperatures get really wacky crazy. We're not safe until we're usually into mid-May. First part of April, we've always seen some type of sleet or snow in Oklahoma, which is nutty. It's just crazy at this latitude. So, anyway, there you go. Get to cutting some wood.